Hello everyone, Giltar here with an instructional video on basically how to make your own sort of do-it-yourself stabilization device for your digital camera. Now the reason why I came up with this little, device here is because I was looking for a tripod to stabilize my recently acquired high-definition camera, just because it can't be propped up by itself. It will basically fall over. I need something to prop it up for me when I shoot my review videos. And I did look around for different prices on the various ranges of tripod type products out there. And I found the cheapest ones out there were about $25 or so. And I looked online for different tripods as well, and they were a little cheaper there. But then if you factor in the shipping costs of those items, it would still be around $25, if not more, all things considered. So instead of buying a tripod or tripod-like device, I went to the do-it-yourself method. I looked around for different suggestions of do-it-yourself tripods, and I found a lot of different approaches, which were great. They were all inexpensive, but the one common issue I found with them was that they required either tools or various methods and techniques and effort, basically, that I didn't want to put into something that was supposed to be not only cheap but also easy to make. A lot of these different methods involve drilling holes through devices or various objects or materials to create your do-it-yourself tripod or stabilization device. I just didn't want to do that. And also, I don't have things like drills, so I really can't do that if I wanted to without buying drills for the specific use, one-time use of making a do-it-yourself tripod, which in itself is supposed to be less expensive. But if I bought all those tools and items and spent the time doing all that, it would actually be more expensive. In my opinion. So, I decided not to do that, but I did want to use the do-it-yourself method. So I took some of the foundational ideas that were fairly common in the different approaches, and I came up with using these 4 different objects to create my own do-it-yourself stabilization unit for my digital camera. From left to right is an oil filter wrench, which costs $5 at my local hardware store. Here is a quarter-inch hex bolt, a quarter-inch nut for the hex bolt, and a quarter-inch washer. All I do is that I use this as my base or foundation unit for my stabilization device. I put the bolt and washer, I basically attach them to or the nut and washer, attach them to the bolt, and then pull them through the opening here. Now, the reason why I chose this oil filter wrench is that because, first of all, it's made of a very durable, thick plastic, so it's not something that's going to be sort of fragile and break on me. It has an opening already through it, so I don't have to drill, a hole through it so I can put the bolt through. And it just provides a great stable base for my camera. And all I do is I screw the nut onto the bolt and then put the washer on top of that and then pull it through the opening, just go right up, and through that opening, I would then screw on my digital camera. So let's pretend Alternity Bumble here is a digital camera. And all I do is once the bolt's through the top there, I would just screw the camera on. And once it's secure, basically, the camera would rest on top of this, and that's my stabilization unit. Now, one thing I do want to mention with this is that while it's a great stabilization device, it is short. And it's not something you could use for all different kinds of video shooting. This is something that I would only specifically use for shooting video reviews of relatively small objects like action figures and model kits. And if I ever needed to elevate my camera, I would just stack it on top of some books. That being said, I do think it's a great alternative to a normal fully fledged tripod unit that, if you're only looking to make review videos or videos in your own home, and you don't need something like a tripod to elevate the camera a few feet off the ground, you could use this method by all means. Now, the cost of these objects was $5 for the oil filter wrench. I bought the hex bolt, the hex nut, or the hex bolt and the nut in a set. I also bought the washers in a set. I got several washers for $2. I got several bolts and nuts for $2. And, oil filter wrench again was $5. So basically, with taxes included, you're looking at about $10 for a very easy to assemble little device. You don't have to alter the objects, and these parts are all readily available at any hardware store that you would have in your city. So definitely you guys should consider maybe using this as an alternative to buying a tripod, unless you want to use a tripod for all the various features and functions it can provide. So just bear with me for a moment. I'm going to attach these parts to my camera, and I'll show you guys sort of a steady shot with my camera once the device is connected. Now, the reason why I have the washer and nut on the bolt is that there is a bit of a gap between the sort of the bottom opening of the oil filter wrench and the top where the bolt would peek through. And I want to make it snug as possible to the camera, and so that's why I have these different extra parts attached so that it basically takes up the extra space. It gives the camera a snug, tight fit onto the oil filter wrench, and basically it makes it a steady unit there. So anyways, here it is with my base on it. I mean, it works like a charm, and again, it's inexpensive. The different parts are readily available, and you just basically attach everything together like I said, and you have yourself a do-it-yourself stabilization unit for your digital camera. So I hope you guys found this information useful. Really, this is just for people who want to make videos using a digital camera that they would have to put on a desktop or a tabletop, and they don't want to spend a lot of money on a tripod, and they don't want to use specialized tools or go through a lot of effort just to make a do-it-yourself object. I think this is a really nice alternative. So hope you guys found that information useful. As usual, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys at the next video.